that object out of the garbage can, or they will say, no, I don't want it there. And it's frustrating for everybody because these are not life and death situations, but they're going back and recalculating, redesigning, rethinking, or moving that pile from one place to another, and they're not making any forward momentum.
Oh, I have a tidbit about that. I've been telling people that you were coming on the show, and one friend explained the reason she's fearful of getting rid of paper is that she feels she'll need it in the future, and that it will be in another pile that she doesn't remember is in. And what does she do at that point?
Well, oftentimes we're fearful of keeping things, so what we do is we keep everything, and then when we need it, we can't find anything because there's so much. The irony is, the more stuff that we keep, the less we actually use, the less that we use things. Keep less, and you'll use it more.
What is that phrase they use? I'm sure you use it, Nancy. Of you only use 20% of the 80%, or something like that.
Yes, it's called the Pareto principle. And for instance, if you were to go into your coat closet, or if you go into your closet with your clothes, we use about 20% of the clothes. So try to get rid of half the clothes in your closet, and you'll be wearing the same, well, we do anyway, we wear the same clothes over and over again. But there's that fear factor. You already brought that up. We're fearful. Well, so you have to do a certain amount of trust.
Well, trust, Nancy, trust is one thing, but seriously, when we talk about clothes, is that the same as clutter?
Well, everybody has a thing. And Judge Angel, do you have a thing about shoes?
Shoes, you know I do. I mean, no one has enough shoes.
Well, everybody has a thing, and I encourage you to have your thing. So I'm not asking you to deprive yourself. Actually indulge yourself in your thing, but only choose one thing. So if it's your shoes, indulge your shoes. If it's your clothes, go for it with your clothes. But it can't be clothes and books and tools, and you get the idea.
Yeah, teapots and dolls, and the list goes on. But
my thing happens to be Christmas, and Christmas is coming up, and we start to decorate the house November 1st. I have to wait till November. It can't be October 31st. And each room has a different theme, and then by December 31st, we're so tired of Christmas that we pack it away on January 1st. But it's completely, we completely indulge, we're completely engrossed in Christmas. But it's not Easter, it's not Thanksgiving, and we really enjoy it.
Now that sounds delightful.
It is.
And it goes to something else I was thinking about, which is, can clutter really dictate our lives?
It does. And many people have seen the shows Hoarders or Hoarding Buried Alive, and those are great visual examples of how clutter does dictate our lives.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a great show for motivation.
It is.
Every time I watch it, it's like, okay, this is it. I got to look around. What can I give away this week? Oh, my God.
And it's something that we've all seen before. And remember that television is for the entertainment factor. But in today's society, I think, especially with television, when it comes into your home like that. But I grew up in an agricultural community in Minnesota, and there was always one or two people that were hoarder types. But what is so fortunate about our society is that we have so many opportunities. We have places like Target or Big Lots or the 99-cent store where we are able to buy so many things for such an inexpensive price. And the other the yin and the yang, the other part of that is that we have so many things that we like to do with our time. And talking about your thing, so many people like to do arts and crafts. They like to do participate in their community. They volunteer, or they're working 80 hours a week. So they go to the store for their recreation, but they're also working 80 hours a week. They're also involved with the family and trying to keep up with everything that's involved in their time. It's just very, very difficult to keep up with the house. And if we think back to the 40s and the 50s, where the woman was taking care of the house and it was a full-time job, now the stress of taking care of the house and all of these other wonderful opportunities and money, buying all of these things that are so available, is the evil of our society right now, and I'm being playful with the word evil.
Well, when you mention the 40s and the 50s and this is Mike, and when you mention the 40s and the 50s and the stay-at-home mom and the husband's out working and bringing in money, it brings to my mind the idea. I mean, I'm aware that it's not always the woman that's the clutter bug. Sometimes the woman is the neat one, and the guy is the one that has a tendency to accumulate items. But in either event, what is the best way for a spouse who might be on the other end of that to motivate his or her significant other to take advantage? What's the reward that we could talk about for them after you become organized? What's the reward? What do they get for making that extra effort to get rid of those Jones in New York dresses and all those favorite things that they haven't been able to wear for 10 years but are still in the closet?
It's difficult for a spouse, but one of the best things is to set a limit. For instance, and you can kind of spot this on hoarders, is don't let the hoarder or the person who has a thing to expand past the personal environment. So the clothes have to go in the clothes closet. It doesn't expand into the living room. It doesn't expand into the children's room. One of the secrets is when the children leave for college, that those closets do not become then extra storage.
Right.
What?
Outside rental storage space, extra storage, warehouse in the backyard, standalone wardrobes, all those items.
Nancy, you're giving me chill bumps.
Well, how do you continue this? If you're bold and courageous enough to take that step, and you empty half the things out of the closet, now you have all this wonderful space. How do you continue to maintain that? What is the best tool? Is there a best tool?
A good tool is the philosophy one in and one out. And that's great for maintenance. If you're not into maintenance, then when you buy one object, get rid of two objects. And sometimes what is really good for the heart is when you find a great charity. The Salvation Army, Goodwill are wonderful charities, and
That's
for many people,
idea.
sometimes they're very impersonal.
That's a fabulous idea. Well, we want to know more, Nancy, and we're going to take a short break. We're discussing clutterology with Nancy Miller here on Positive Impact Now, KLAV 1230 AM radio, and we'll be back with you in just a short break and get back with more information from Nancy. Thank you.
Positive Impact is a show about you. Do you want to improve in areas of your health, attitudes, and most of all, your enjoyment? I'm Judge Angel. Along with guest hosts, Positive Impact will bring you information, coaching, and encouragement to reach your goals. Join us every Thursday from 4 to 5 for your Positive Impact with Judge Angel.
Positive Impact every Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m. Quick, what do these sounds have in common? These are the sounds of geography. Geography helps us understand connections between people and places. But our kids aren't getting enough of it. Half can't locate Japan or India, and 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. So we created mywonderfulworld.org to give kids the power of global knowledge. Go to mywonderfulworld.org to learn more. It's a wonderful world.
Positive Impact Now. Continue. Here again, Judge Angel and Mike Faust.
You are listening to Positive Impact Now. I'm Judge Angel, and thank you for joining in. We've got a great guest, Nancy Miller, who is walking us through this very painful path of learning to let go to really feel better. And Nancy, thank you for joining us today. We're so happy to have you. We were talking about clutter dictating your life, and you brought up a very interesting plan, if you will, or system, which is if you buy something, release something.
Yes.
That is a powerful, powerful factor. And people have to learn to do that, because at first, I think they go through the thought of, well, I need everything. I need all these wonderful things I have, but to let go. But, you know, I think we need to get off clothes, because many people here in Vegas came from the East. And when they lived in the East, they had these big, palatial homes. They had like 8 closets that they were able to use. So it just made it easy to have a lot of things. And in Vegas, the housing style is very limited storage space. We don't have attics, we don't have basements, we don't have big closets. Everything's downsized. So there are a lot of people that live here in Vegas that are struggling on a regular basis, trying to figure out, what do I do with all these things? And you talk about collections. I have friends here from the East. They have art collections of various artists, and I mean beautiful, very expensive art collections. Of course, the ladies have the shoe collections, the designer couture collections. It's just, and the furniture that they brought from back East, very, very expensive. And they really don't know, how do you get started? Tomorrow we're going to wake up. How do we get started?
Sometimes it's easier to start with the smallest items.
Okay.
And just compare one item to another. So the art collection is, ask yourself, of these 2 objects, what do you like most? And for instance, here's a great example. We're talking about clothing, is a little black dress. So every closet needs a little black dress. But do you need 2 little black dresses? And in this example is, you need a little black dress, but you don't need 2. Of those 2 dresses, they're drastically different. One has long sleeve, one has short sleeve, one is longer, one is shorter. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to tell yourself, well, one was expensive, one made, you have all these stories to tell yourself, but at the end, which one do you like better? So compare them exactly 1 to 1, but when you're done, which one do you like better? Then donate that one, give it away, but in your closet you'll only have one. Then move on to the next comparison. And that can be for guys if it's golf shirts.
You should see her face right now. She's just devastated.
I'm amazed. You're saying one. I'm thinking you have like 6 black dresses for the various reasons that you named, Nancy. Short sleeve, long skirt, short skirt, embellished in the front, the back out. So that's the beginning. You don't see things with each little detail as making that drastically different.
No, we just need simplify.
Okay. That's very revolutionary.
Well, do you recommend men and women taking this on their own? Or like me, my profession is business sales. I help people buy and sell businesses. I always recommend to use a broker find an expert to help you do this. Do you recommend the same thing in your books and talks, or do you really kind of put the responsibility on those people to do this themselves?
Some people can and some people can't. There are people that are very motivated that can go through and find it very simple to organize. It is a skill that you can learn. Other people would much rather go to the dentist than to go through their papers and organize their papers. They just don't see the systems. There are professionals.
It's painful. Your analogy was very good. It's painful.
I find it's like candy. It's a toy. I find it very simple. So that people are different. Or with individuals, they might have a buddy system. A friend can come over. It is very simple for other people to look at your clothes if we're going through your closet or your kitchen, looking at pots and pans, and see what you have become so personal with very easily.
That's an interesting choice of words. It's very provocative. You're saying we become personal with these items, and that's why we have so many, and in many cases we never have enough. We're always on the lookout as we go out for more. That's very insightful. Thank you. Were you born this way, Nancy?
To a certain extent, but also as a professional organizer, I learn a lot. And the person or people that I learn most from are my clients.
Okay. And that happens with all of us, I think, in all aspects of life. When we watch someone going through a process, we can identify quicker than they can in many instances what's delaying them or what's detracting them.
Yes.
So that's what you're watching us and picking up good habits.
Yes.
Well, when are you coming to Las Vegas to help us here?
The first week in November.
Okay.
Specifically at College of Southern Nevada.
Excellent. And put some space for me in there.
I will.
Because you're part of our family and I need you. My name is Angel and I have a problem. I need you, Nancy.
What is the date? Are you going to be speaking, Nancy?
I am. Let me get my calendar. It's one moment.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in our audience that are going to be very interested in attending that event and,
we will
and hearing
announce
what you got
it
to
as
say.
we go along.
And we'll definitely promote it for you.
For sure.
It is.
Well, we'll keep talking while you look.
Yeah.
Nancy.
The Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Excellent.
Okay, good.
And
we now invite you back on this show, Positive Impact Now, to talk about some of the things that you do because you're so diversified. I mean, organization is just one part of her skill level. This lady is awesome. Nancy, what would be a system that we could give our audience right now to get started? I'm one of those highly motivated people. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
For instance, have a box. We actually use a 30-gallon garbage can, and we line it with a plastic liner. Mm-hmm. And every time we find an object, whether it's a hairbrush or a hairpin, and we put it in there, and that goes to charity. And when it's full, we simply wrap it up and take it right to charity so that we have a spot for our donations. Otherwise, these items just flail around the house and we don't know what to do with them, and they just sit in piles. Also, for your in baskets, the people that have in baskets, it's the items at the bottom of the in baskets that don't tend to get handled. So every other day, flip the papers over so that you're always dealing with the papers at the bottom of your in basket.
Oh, say that again. Repeat that, please. A new concept.
It is the papers on the bottom of the in baskets that don't tend to get dealt with. So every other day, flip your in-baskets papers over so you're getting to the bottom of them.
Ah, very good. Good strategy. Good strategy. I've tried this method, and I have not reached perfection or gotten it to a fine art yet, Nancy, but it's about 15-minute increments.
Oh, yes.
You know, I'm one of those people, gone all the time, run in, shower, run out, just in and out all the time. But I'm making myself think about 15 minutes on an area. I can't take a room yet, but I use an area. And part of the strategy is nothing can be on the floor except furniture. No books, no piles, nothing. And I mean, that is working me. So if you could give us a hint for that.
Have you heard of the Roombas?
The dance, the exercise program?
No, it's even easier than that. They will vacuum your floors.
Oh, the little computer things, yes.
Yes.
The robots.
Yes.
The robots. One thing you will realize real quickly is you can't have anything on the floor, and they'll vacuum your floor once a day.
Nice.
And it is really neat. They're kind of expensive, but unless you have a cat or a dog in the house who will chase after them, one of the things that we found out when we got our Roombas was all of a sudden we were picking up the items that were on the floor because we wanted to have our floor swept.
Yes.
And 15 minutes, if you have the old-fashioned timer that goes tick, 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 tick,
yes,
and an exercise, if you want to get in an aerobic exercise, is to do it as quickly as possible so that there's no procrastination, there's no thinking about it. Just move very quickly,
Just
move around
do
the
it.
house.
Yeah, like Nike says, just do it.
Just do it.
It's very
That
nice.
was the most brilliant strategy of all.
Isn't that great? And it's so motivational, uplifting.
It is.
Because anybody can get stuck at any time. But when you think, okay, it seems difficult, I've got to work on it, but you know what? I'm going to do it. And I always tell myself baby steps. I may not complete it, but I'm going to start it.
I am terrible at the telephone, making phone calls.
Ah.
So for me, is once I get started, I tend to get started. So I start out with a phone call that's kind of easy. In the olden days, it was calling for what time it was. So I made the first call. Then I can make the second call, and then make the third call. So it's just one phone call after another another.
It's like the old saying, the path to success, the first step is you have to show up. So if you're making calls, you just have to pick up the phone, reach for the phone.
That's
keep
90% of it.
Well, Nancy, we appreciate everything that you had to share with us. We think what you do is marvelous, and certainly I know everybody that I know, and my own household included, can benefit by being a little more organized and taking the time and taking the right steps to make that happen. So we're looking forward to you coming to town, and we're looking forward to you joining us again on Positive Impact Now. And again, we've shared some time with Nancy Miller regarding clutterology, how to get the clutter out of your life. And this is 1230 AM radio, Positive Impact Now. Nancy, thank you very much for coming on the show. We're going to take a little break right now, and we look forward to speaking with you again in the future.
Tom Gilmore lives on a farm. There's a storm on the way, so he's boarding up the windows of his house.
Haley Williams lives in an apartment. It's a beautiful day. She's making her usual monthly donation to the American Red Cross.
Tom doesn't know a tornado will leave his family with no place to go.
Haley doesn't know her gift will help give Tom's family shelter.
When you support the Red Cross, you change a life.
Starting with your own.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcross.org to learn about life-changing opportunities in your area.
Positive Impact is a show about you. Do you want to improve in areas of your health, attitudes, and most of all, your enjoyment? I'm Judge Angel, along with guest hosts Positive Impact will bring you information, coaching, and encouragement to reach your goals. Join us every Thursday from 4 to 5 for your Positive Impact with Judge Angel.
Positive Impact every Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m.
I'm Leanne Rhymes for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. To some, it's just not country music without hard drinking and fast driving. But real life's not a song. And in less time than it takes to play the latest country hit, someone will be killed or injured in an alcohol-related crash. So next time you're out with someone who's been drinking, don't let them take the wheel. Take the keys instead. That's why friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
The odds of having a boy who grows up loving baseball,
1 in 6,
which earns him a college scholarship,
1 in 2,500,
that gets him a contract in the minors,
1 in 3,700,
which leads to starting shortstop in the majors,
1 in 290,000.
The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism,
1 in 150. You know the odds. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The worst pain I've ever felt came from shingles. As a healthy, active woman in my early 60s, it kept me from sleeping at night. It made it hard for me to work and enjoy my active lifestyle. I didn't know a simple vaccination could have helped me avoid getting shingles.
This is Dr. Susan Ream of the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases, reminding you that vaccines can help prevent shingles and other serious adult diseases. Speak with your doctor about vaccination and visit www.adultvaccination.org.
This is Positive Impact Now. Here again, your host, Judge Angel and Mike Faust.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Positive Impact Now. And we're back with a new guest. Janice Williams is going to talk to us about continuing the remove clutter idea. We're going to teach you how to talk to you a little bit about clearing your mind. Janice, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here and share this information.
Well, you've done so much in this area. Would you start off by telling everyone what transcendental meditation is generally, an overview?
You know, it's such a long word, isn't it?
It's a great word.
And it takes so much time and effort to talk about it, but I have to tell you, it is very easy, very simple, completely effective technique, considered to be a mental technique that not only clears the mind, but is well known for its reduction of stress. And as you well know, stress is that great contributor to dis-ease and discontent in all areas of life.
Well, that's so true, and I am so glad you're here today. One of my best friends, she is going through a situation like all of us do. You know, life is going to throw us situations in quotation marks, but she just can't get out of her mind the fact that this is not working, that she needs some things done that are completely out of her control. That's what I'm saying to her. So when we're in those paths of life, and we have no control, I don't care how much money you have, I don't care what you do, it's out of your hands. Other people have to make this happen. What can we say to ourselves in that situation?
Well, first of all, my own take on problems in life, no matter how large or small they are that they are an opportunity for growth. Some of them are very hard to bear. There's always something amazing to learn from them. And so that deep trust in our inner self, the deep trust in our faith, you know, it does go a long way. And that saying, this too shall pass, it's true with all of the problems in life. But there's a way to surmount that, and one of those ways is to calm the nervous system down, release the stress, and allow the mind to rid the clutter, rid the fear, rid the anxiety The transcendental meditation technique is very effective in doing those things. Reduction of stress, as I've already mentioned, is one of its most well-known features, but it also helps eliminate anxiety.
Now, in my memory, back in the first that I heard about transcendental meditation, it seems to me it became a popular thing in the 60s. And it was peace, love, LSD, and transcendental meditation. I don't know if, can you tell us a little bit about the history of it? Is it much, much older than that?
Yes, it is. TM has been around the United States for a little over 50 years. And you know, it's more popular today than it ever was.
Times are more stressful today.
Well, it is, but not only that, it's been accepted by the medical and scientific community. Over 600 different types of research verifying and validating that this technique is not something that is hocus pocus, and it is not wishful thinking. It is a technique that directly affects the nervous system. Now, TM, prior to the 60s, etc., it's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi is the founder of the TM technique. He brought TM out to the West from the Himalayas to eliminate suffering from mankind. And of course, this suffering includes our health. It includes our mental anxiety. It includes a myriad of difficulties in life. It is not a magical pill where life is transformed overnight, but absolutely within the first 4 days of starting the technique, the person practicing begins to get an idea of the changes that are taking place, and it grows from there. As you continue,
let's pause for a minute so we can.
I know I can really go, right?
And I love it. You say great things, good information. We're so. Okay, and by the way, Michael's also here with her. Yeah. He's going to talk to. But you said within 4 days, a person could feel the positive effects of TM. How do we get started so people can try this?
The very first step is to attend a free introductory talk in which we cover all of the benefits, where it comes from, how it differs from other techniques, what you will expect to experience, which is a very pleasant state of restful alertness. You remain completely intact. It is also an effect on the emotional aspect. There's so much to cover. We try to condense it into about an hour, maximum hour and a half, present a little bit of the scientific research, and then we explain what a person learns when they're practicing TM.
Well, when a person has heard about it, they're convinced that they want to try it, it's positive, it sounds like it's helping your body, helping your system, what would be the first steps they would go through to get started?
Well, to call Michael or I, call the TM Center, that would be a given, but the introductory lecture is the very first step. And at that lecture, we do a personal interview with the individual. We don't need to know anything terribly personal about them, but there are some pertinent facts we do need to know. And then we set up an appointment. The initial learning is 4 consecutive days, about an hour and a half on each day. And after that, there's follow-up for about 4 months. And beyond that, it's a follow-up for the rest of their life if they would like.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Michael, we want you to join the conversation. I have been told that you have used TM to a great extent with our veterans, and I want to thank you for that.
Yes, it works so well. The results are immediate. You teach them, it takes 1 hour to learn the TM technique on the first day. That's where you learn the technique. And they get this deep level of rest that's at least twice as deep as sleep. And so all the stress they've incurred from Afghanistan or Iraq or Vietnam or World War II or Bosnia and Afghanistan, it just melts away. The last veteran I taught TM to, he severe alcohol abuse, drug abuse. I taught him one time. I see him the very next day. He didn't even have to take his sleep medication that night. It works
That's
that
amazing.
quick. And then another veteran, Iraq Bosnian veteran, a gentleman in his 50s, he's on 4 meds. He learns TM. After the first day, he never took another sleeping pill, and it's been a year and a half now. And then he got off all 3 meds, and he goes to see his VA doctor, you know, on a regular basis. Got off in 90 days off the other 3 meds. And these are totally typical results. They're not just 1 out of 10. It happens to every single vet we teach. Dramatic results.
Now, I know that even with drugs, everybody's familiar with the placebo effect. I'm sure that there's some aspect of that involved in transcendental meditation as well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but only one thing, placebo effects usually just last for a little while. What happens with the TM technique is that it just keeps on going and going. Why would somebody like Oprah sign up for TM and still meditating a year and a half later and have her whole staff of 300 people? That's one of the reasons why I learned TM, and was because the Beatles were meditating. I wanted world peace. I was only 22. This is back in the early 70s. And a couple of my other favorite people were Earth, Wind, and Fire and Stevie Wonder. And they were all meditating. I go, I got to do this. And so I started TM, and then eventually I wanted to become a TM teacher because I worked with at-risk youth, mentally challenged kids, autistic kids. And that's a whole nother story of how incredible the results come with TM with them as well.
That is wonderful. Again, we're looking at the positive effect of good role models. So you looked around to musicians and people you admired, and they were doing it. You said it couldn't be all bad. Wonderful. Now, how long have you been actually practicing the TM generally, Michael?
39 years, since 1974. Excuse me, 40 years? 74?
Oh, I don't know.
Who knows?
Let's just say 30.
Yeah,
that
whatever.
sounds good.
Yeah, and a teacher for 35 plus years, teaching TM to anybody. We teach executives, we teach movie stars, this and that, but we just really, I totally really enjoy
And I want
teaching
to
vets.
direct another question to Janice, if I may. I see in some of the materials that you brought with you here that there are more than 600 scientific studies on the benefits of the transcendental meditation technique. Have been conducted at 250 independent universities. I mean, are these long-term studies where they test these people and test the ones that have stopped doing it, test the ones that are still doing it, or are these short-term studies that have accumulated over the years, or what can you tell us about these studies that would maybe give them more weight?
Okay, well, let's take the study that the American Heart Association did over 9 years. And the study was basically done with Afro-American men and women. Hypertension.
We're subject to that, yes.
Yes. A lot. I think they're finding out that more people than that segment are. But the effects on their physiology was dramatic. In this 9-year period, they found that the incidence of heart attack, stroke, and death went down approximately 50%.
Amazing.
This is over a 9-year study.
That's wonderful.
It
so
is,
that's wonderful.
Would I have to give up all the food I love and really change, because part of that cultural tendency to hypertension and so forth is diet related?
Well, you know, you don't. There's nothing expected of you when you start TM. You maintain your own religion. This has nothing to do with religion. You don't have to eat brown rice or wear long brown robes. But what you will find as you become more in contact with your inner self and your awareness begins to expand, you begin to put 2 and 2 together about how this is really uncomfortable. This is not agreeing with me. Then you also become eventually more aware of why do I continue to do this? You know, so that expansion of awareness is very, very valuable.
Yes, it is. Very interesting. I like the idea of getting back to the veterans. Mike, I just think we owe them so much.
Yeah, it's really a crime. You know, there's committing suicide every day in our country, and they've tried all these other approaches and counseling and all that, and not to detract from any of those, they do provide some minimal surface, just cope them to get there from day to day. But the TM technique, what's incredible is it gets rid of deep-rooted physiological stress that they've incurred on the battlefield.
That's
and
what I
that
think
washes
about.
away. It totally. You can talk to any vet that's learned TM. There's a whole thing. David Lynch Foundation. Look that up on the web, and all these superstars coming out from Russell Simmons and all these, the Beatles, and just, we could go on and on. Sheryl Crow and entertainers and in support to raise money so these guys can learn, because it's so effective. It's incredible. I can't even describe it sometimes.
Well, we hear veterans that will tell you, they said, ask me anything, but don't ask me about my military career. It's so stressful.
Right.
It's a word.
Yeah, they've never been given
They about it.
They don't want to talk about it because it brings up old memories and all that. But once they start the TM technique, it literally wipes it away. It washes it away, day by day, week by week, month by month. So that's why the veterans that learned when they got a NOM are still meditating today, because they want to be dynamic. They still want to keep going and going, and that's why we teach executives too.
The key is this covered by insurance? Can the veterans go through the VA? And, I hope it is.
No, it's not now. They're doing a $2.4 million study with the Department of Defense right now in San Diego, but it's going to take you 3.5 years before that study's done. We already know it works. We've been doing it for 50 some odd years. So that's why there's organizations like the David Lynch Foundation. We have, whenever possible, we have scholarships for veterans, and we bend over backwards to teach as many people. We're a 501c3, by the way, nonprofit organization as well. So we do our best to teach.
How can someone donate a scholarship or toward a scholarship for a veteran to have this TM?
Yeah, just call the TM Center. Call us.
So just write a check.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah, and there's a tax.
Do you guys have a website that's easy to find?
Yes.
What is that website?
Transcendental Meditation, Las Vegas,
We'll have it on our
Las
website.
Vegas. Yes, and then we'll even show the progress on a DVD before and after of the vet.
Oh, really?
This is what I can't sleep. I sleep with a gun under my pillow. I'm abusive to my wife and kids. This. I do this. All these things. I drink too much. I smoke, and then boom, let them learn TM, and we'll follow them. They can do it every other day, and you'll see that it's amazing results.
Oh, and are you able to give that to them at the end of, say, 6 months, a year?
30 days.
It's a difference?
In a week, it's that different.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's that different in a week.
Well, you guys are very convincing, and Janice has a very soft, meditative voice, and I can see how you guys would be involved and be able to promote this very easily. But if I'm a skeptic, if I'm a skeptic, does it still work, or do I really have to buy into it before it's going to work for me?
No, you don't have to buy in. Every veteran that comes says, this is the last hope I have. I've tried everything else. I'm going to try this. And I've read the research, or my friend told me I should do this. And they start, and the results, again, are immediate. So you could be a skeptic. As a matter of fact, they say, after learning TM, they sometimes don't even believe the deep rest, because they're sitting there and they're smiling, and they feel like laughing for the first time in years and years.
Oh,
and they
wonderful.
go, this is too good they say it over and over again, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. I hope this lasts. Please don't take it away from me.
These men and women have experienced so much stress. To be able to relieve it has to be phenomenal.
It's very beneficial. To add a little bit to what Michael said, to answer your question, there's absolutely no belief involved in TM. As long as you do it 20 minutes twice a day, the benefits will be there in spite of your attitude towards it.
Can you do this, the 20 minutes, because that seems like a long time to me. Can you do like the 20 minutes as you get in bed and you're getting ready to fall asleep? Does that count?
Actually, you want to do it first thing in the morning and then sometime before your evening meal.
So the answer is no, it doesn't count.
Yes, in a very nice way. But you'll be surprised at how easy it is. It takes much more effort to talk about it than it does to do it. And also, it's pleasant and it's restful. So think in terms more of looking forward to this nice deep rest, or this,
it sounds like you're saying look forward to having time with yourself.
Exactly.
To your inner self, not this facade that's trying to please 3 or 4 people, go to meetings, keep records, make calls, emails. Time with your inner self, your spirit.
That is the
spirit.
Perfect way to say it. Perfect.
Talk to God. That's your time, you and God.
That's your time.
That would be awesome.
Yes, and but remember, when you meditate, and when you pray, So TM really has nothing to do with religion, and that's it.
But see, with me, everything is religion.
Well, this is fine.
My
too.
plates say all God.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
There's no separation for all the good stuff.
Well, this is fabulous, and I know that there must be many people that have benefited from the use of transcendental meditation over the years, and I can certainly see where there's a need to continue to grow the practice, and you obviously are doing your part.
That's the key word, continue to grow, and that's our wish for everyone. We want to try to eliminate suffering from mankind by allowing that full inner potential to blossom in everyone. Our website is www.tm.org, and there's also a Transcendental Meditation Program of Las Vegas.
And we're going to have all of that on our website for people to go to www.positiveimpactnow.com, and they see all the information about our guests, present and past.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Well, we thank you very much for joining us, Janice and Michael, and maybe at some point in the future we can have you guys back. We're going to make a couple of announcements here at Positive Impact Now, 12:30 a.m. KLAV. And
my mouth is open to ask one quick question.
Okay.
What happens when you don't have the 20 minutes twice a day? Good.
When you start taking the 20 minutes twice a day, you're going to find, because your mind has now experiencing total brain functioning, you're going to have more time than you ever thought possible. And you're going to think, how am I going to fit this in? You're going to have extra time because your brain is more engaged, you're clearer thinking, you're more positive, you have more energy, you need less sleep, and that's what happens.
Sign me up, Michael.
That's fantastic. Thank you again, folks.
Our pleasure. Thank
I've got
you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
A couple of quick announcements that I want to make to our listeners out there. We do have a quick jobs update. There's a career fair coming up. It's the reviewjournal.com career fair. That's Tuesday, October 8th of this year, 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Texas Station. And it's dress for a business interview, bring a resume, okay? And you can check out our website for more information, contact us, and we'll be happy to give that information to you. You can also get more information at 702-224-5587.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed our guests. It was Nancy Miller, Clutter of the House, and also...
Hi, I'm Leslie Lovell, owner of Town Center Interior Design and radio talk show host for the Home Sweet Home Show. Listen in and enjoy our unique radio show. We talk about decorating tips, cooking, fashion, cultural events, and so much more. Also remember to visit me on my website at towncenterdesign.com.